So next piece is the people of holiness. The Kotzker Rebbe explained the verse, people of holiness, you shall be for me. It says in the Shmos 22 Torah. Not as an exhortation to be angels, devoted of any darker side, but rather as the people of holiness, fully human yet totally sanctified. Kiddusha means not abstinence, but rather full participation in all facets of life, albeit without any pursuit of personal pleasure. God is not looking for angels. Of those he has no luck. Right? It is human beings that all, with all their frailties and foibles, living on inspired and exalted plane that give the Almighty endless pleasure. So let's try to understand what it says here. So Kotzker Rebbe is another greater of our tzaddikim. So always a Hasidic Rebbe. So he explained the verse, people of holiness, you shall be to me. So HaShem said, it's not, he addressed the whole Jewish nation. So you shall be holy to me. People of holiness, you shall be to me. Right? That's a requirement. Not as an exhortation to be angels. So of course, HaShem gave us Eitzah Hara, right? So he's not, he cannot expect us to be angels. Angels do not have Eitzah Hara, right? But the Jew has Eitzah Hara, and non-Jew also. So, and that's why we can go up and down in our level, as we said before. So, not as an exhortation to be angels, devoted to any darker side. So, angels, they're perfect. But rather to be people of holiness. Fully human, yet totally sanctified. So, fully human with all of the human desires, with all of the human needs, and on one hand, on another hand, totally sanctified. So how can you be totally sanctified if we have physical need? It's a different story. It's yeah. So for example, it says that a person is not allowed to pray when he has some bodily needs. So he has to go and cleanse himself and come back and learn and pray. So in this way, even in this mundane physical actions, so a person can sanctify himself 100%. Kiddusha means not abstinence, but rather the full participation in all facets of life. So Kiddusha, the holiness, it's not like I'm not going to do it complete. I'm not going to eat. I'm going to be holy. No, or like other religion, I'm not going to have. I'm not going to marry, and that's why I'm going to be holy. No, that's when it says opposite. You have to be married. You have to get married. You have to be holy. You have to have children, right? And go through all of these difficulties and be holy. Right? So one second. So one more time the whole sentence. Kiddusha means not abstinence, but rather full participation in all facets of life, albeit without any pursuit of personal pleasure. So, and whatever we do, it's not for personal pleasure, even though you're allowed to derive pleasure, right? But it's like a side effect, right? So you do it for a glory of HaShem, and you get pleasure. There is no problem with that. God is not looking for angels. So meaning what? That you can enjoy food. It's not like you have to cook your food without salt, without all of this spices and taste it like a rubber. No, you can eat normal food, enjoyable food with good aroma, with good taste. Everything is good, and but you eating and must be for a purpose to serve HaShem. So you have a Shabbos meal. So purpose of serving HaShem. That's HaShem said that I have to enjoy Shabbos. That's how I enjoy, right? And then he said how you enjoy. You enjoy with wine and the meat and other things. Okay, God is not looking for angels. Of those he has no luck, right? So HaShem has many angels and he can create trillions of angels. He does not need them, right? It is human being that with all of their problems, right? With all frailties, are living on an inspired and exalted plane that give Almighty endless pleasure. It's humans that have all of the challenges right? And they can go with all of the physical desires who elevated themselves on a higher plane. That's what HaShem wants, and He enjoys. So every time when we overcome ourselves, our physical nature, we have to understand, and in some sense, whatever it means, HaShem enjoys seeing us struggle and go to a higher level. It is in this sense that Rambam calls the section of the Mishnah Torah that deals with law governing morality in relationships and the laws of Kashrut, Kiddusha, holiness. The true Kiddusha is extending the spirit of HaShem and the enhancement of His honor to the area of life which are most prone to egotistical pleasure pursuing hedonism. Okay, so let's try to read this paragraph again. Did we learn any laws from this section of Kiddusha? I don't think so. No. We'll see. Maybe we're going to do it one time, one day in a Rambam's class, maybe. So one more time, it is in a sense that Rambam calls this section of the Mishnah Torah that deals with the laws governing morality in relationships and the laws of Kashrut, Kiddusha. So so far we learn the section that is called knowledge, where we have this 3 series in the Rambam's book. It's only from the section knowledge. True, Kiddusha is extended to spirit of HaShem and enhancing His honor to the area of life which are most prone to egotistical pleasure pursuing hedonism, right? So all of these things, like in a kashrus, in a relationships between man and wife, right? It's the most basic thing, right? The physical thing, and that's where we have to elevate these things to the level of holiness, especially those days. The more physical it is, the more we're trying to elevate to the level of holiness. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi had a table filled with the finest. So you see, he's jumping from topic. Not topic is the same, but from different from one rabbi to another rabbi. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi had the table filled with the finest gastronomic delights. Yet he could honestly attest about his own lifestyle. I derive no pleasure whatsoever. All of his eating was solely for a mitzvah purposes. In order to sustain his body that carries a soul, Hashem's instrument in implemented His will in our world. This is true kadosh, a real life person, vibrantly living an exalted existence. Okay, so let's try to understand. So again, we go to that's a different. It's Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, right? So also very, very rich person, very rich person. Hanasi means, as we learn on Wednesday. Oh, sorry, yeah, it was yesterday, right? It's Hanasi is the head of the Sanhedrin, right? So the top of the religious people in Israel, right? So one more time. So in many times this person was the holiest. Okay, so one more time. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi had a table filled with the finest of gastronomic delights, yet he could honestly attest about his own lifestyle. I derived no personal pleasure whatsoever. So basically, all of this is were for a guest. So this the person, one of the things that we learn is a person of this stature. He cannot be like I don't know. Dressed like a shmendrik or have only a few pieces of bread on the table. No, he has to show that he is rich, right? To show that he is rich, feed other people. So maybe you don't enjoy these gastronomic delights, but maybe many poor people who visit you, they would enjoy. So you take care of your soul and about other people's stomachs, right? That's what our sages do, right? All of his eating was solely for mitzvah purposes, in order to sustain the body that carries the soul. HaShem instrument in implementing His will in the world. So as we just said, so whatever you need to eat to sustain your body. So if it's meat, so you must eat meat. If it's this vegetable or some, like, I don't know, some expensive foods, whatever it is, I don't know, expensive food, whatever, it's your doctor told you that you need this food. Okay, so it means that you need that food. But it's not for because you're arrogant, because you can afford it. No, because you want to be servant of HaShem. That's the only reason. Makes you humble. This is true kadosh in Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, a real life person, right, living exalted existence. So he could afford everything, but he decided to eat whatever very modest food. In a similar way, in the Medrash in Vayikra Rabbah 34 characterizes Hillel the elder. Okay, whenever the Hillel the elder took leave of the students to go home for his meal, they would accompany him. They ask him, Rabbi, where are you going? To which he replies, to show kindness to the guest in my house. But master, do you have a guest every day? They inquired. He answered, isn't it the soul but the guest of the body? The body remains in this world, while the soul is like a guest. Here today, gone tomorrow. Moving on the world to come. That's amazing. So I'm not going to read again. We just summarize. It's very interesting. So this another greatest of the great, Hillel the elder. So he was going home, right? I'm not going to repeat. So what we can learn here. So he would say that my soul. So I'm going to feed the guest. Who is the guest? Is my soul, right? Why? Body stays here. Right, body comes from another body, from a physical that existed before he came to the world, and then it goes to the grave. So it's still here, still stays here in this world. But the soul comes down as a guest, right, to this world, stays here a limited amount of time and goes back. Body comes from here and stays here. So it's like a guest. Continue. Hillel came to teach his students a proper approach to what could become a hedonistic obsession. Man in this world is like a guest at an inn. The horses are already hitched to his wagon. They're ready to leave. There is no time for anything more than a quick bite and snatch drink. And off on the road. So it's amazing line, and I'm going to say it's from Sida Tzadok HaKohen, Israel Kadashim 5. So it's very interesting. So he told his student, like, see this world like you in a hotel, and there is a car waiting for you, like the motor is running. Let's say the taxi, right? The meter is running, so you don't want to overpay. You just want to get going, like eat quickly whatever you need to eat, drink, and on your way. So, and sometimes like people they like to on Friday night, right? They invite guests, and these guests come, and they have no Torah in them, right? And they say, okay, let's and they will hang out and speak all of the Loshen Hara and all of the nonsense. It's still they stay around the table for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and then the next day they cannot get up and go to shul. You understand? So of course there is a mitzvah to eat. So eat quickly. Well, even for mitzvah meal. Okay, enjoy like how much you can eat. Like 1 hour. Okay, 1.5 hours. That's it. Go to bed. So get up in the middle of the night. I'm talking about men. Learn Torah, get prepared, right? Don't spend all of this time on meals. Unfortunately, somehow lately they send me like advertisement on one of the Jewish networks that they have in New York there is a show, the Jewish food and wines. Like Jews have to go to do the show to see all the different foods and wines. Like not the Torah presentation, not to the Torah presentation to learn more Torah, but a presentation of food and wine. That's sick. The way I see it, that's sick. Okay. Continue. The message of Hillel was that food is a medium with which show kindness to the soul. Okay, so soul needs to survive. Without food, it cannot survive. So we have to be realistic, right? By giving its life. So soul is being soul can live in this world only when the body is alive. Body is alive through the food. So when you eat, you're doing kindness to the soul. Right? Therefore, eat to live, don't live to eat. Right? Eat to live, so eat because you need to live, and not live to just until the next meal. Okay.